Thank you for asking. I literally made you a list, and I had to narrow it down because I didn't want to be giving you a million books. So this is not all of the nonfiction books I've ever read. These are just the best ones because of either the story or how it was written, or just honestly like the craziness of what happened to these people. So first off is Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage. This is by Alfred Lansing. This was also written like I think in the 50s, and you would have no idea. Like if you read it, it feels like it was written recently. This is an insane story. This is about Shackleton's voyage to Antarctica. I don't know why anyone wants to go there. It's insane. Next up is The Dawn of Detroit by Tia Miles. I've talked about this one on here before. This is an amazing book. It is about slavery in Detroit, and also there is a little bit about like American Indians in this book as well. However, not as much. But it is a very interesting lens to look at, enslavement, because I think most of the time we talk about it in the South and we don't talk about it in the North. And so this book is really well done. It talks a lot about how Detroit in and of itself was built on the backs of slaves, and how it was also like an interesting city because if you could make it to Canada, you could escape slavery. And so it's like a weird geographical position, and then also it talks about everything that has to, like the different layers that go into the city itself, and enslaved people in the city, and it's very well done. This one I read in grad school and I've read it since, like multiple times. It's so good. Definitely highly recommend it. Next is Dead Wake by Eric Larson. You've heard me talk about it. I thought this book was so good. Most of Eric Larson's books are good. This one is just, it takes the cakes for me. I talked about a little bit in one of my videos how what is well done about it is how he humanizes the people who died in this tragedy. I think a lot of times we do not do that in history books or nonfiction books, and so that is what is really amazing about this book, is like he makes you feel for these people, even though this happened 100 plus years ago, and he really makes you feel the tragedy of the situation. Next up is Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. This is genuinely the best book I've ever read in my life. I think about it all the time. It is so well written. David Grann does such an amazing job with this book and really centering the Osage people. And also it's just a wild story. The fact that it is true and it is what happened is insane. No wonder it became a movie, because what the actual hell. Also by David Grann is The Wager, also very good. I think he does an amazing job specifically in The Wager, talking about how archives can be used to silence people, how like everything, there's no neutrality to these spaces. People pick and choose what goes in archives and everything, and so The Wager focuses on that a lot, and it's really well done. Next up is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. Okay, this is the best memoir I've ever read. It was so well done, and it's also very funny. Makes sense, he's a comedian. But it's truly, it gives you insight into apartheid South Africa, but it also is like very heartwarming, and I really loved this book. It was so good. Next up is In the Heart of the Sea by Nathaniel Philbrook, I think is the author's name. This is about the true story that inspired Moby Dick. And this is about, I can't remember what the boat is called, but like they get attacked by whales multiple times. Like not once, not twice, I think it's 3 times. It's another one where it's like, what the hell? Like it's an insane story, and no wonder it inspired like a book. It's a wild ride. And so this one was very good as well. Next up is They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us by Hanif Abdurraqib. This book is, it's kind of lyrical, like it's a poetic way to write, but it is kind of about like the Black experience in America, particularly in Columbus, Ohio, which is where I'm from, and so I really enjoyed this book. Hanif Abdurraqib has no misses, actually. Like any of his books are fantastic. Multiple of them have been nominated for National Book Awards. They're all very well done, so highly suggest all of those. Next up, same kind of world, like lyrical, poetic, more writing, but still nonfiction and still like you learn things, is How the Word is Passed by Clint Smith. This book was very, very well done. I think about this book all the time. He has like extremely difficult but like necessary conversations with like reenactors who are like playing Confederate soldiers in the South, like things like that. It's a very interesting book, and I loved it. Like I finished it and I just was like sitting in those conversations, like, and I wanted to talk to other people about them. So I highly suggest this one as well. Next up is You Never Forget Your First by Alexis Coe. This is, I've talked about this one before as well. This is a biography of, what's his name? Oh my God, George Washington. That was so stupid. I'm sorry. It is a biography of George Washington, but it is the first biography of him written by a woman that has been like traditionally published. And so it focuses very heavily on like the role that women played in his life, from his mother to his wife to the enslaved people on his plantation and everything. And it is done extremely well. And it is such a different lens into his life compared to all of the other biographies that have ever been written about him. And then beyond that, this author somehow is able to like input humor into what is traditionally just like dry history, you know, like we all know him. So it's a very well written book, and this one is one that I would suggest not doing the audio for because there's a lot of visuals in this book. She does like graphs and stuff, and so like it's really well done. Highly suggest this one. And last, I think that you've already read this, Morg, but for anyone else watching this video, Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer. Why does anyone want to climb Mount Everest? After reading that book, I have to ask myself that question. It's insane. This story is about or not even story, this book, it's a true story, is about the deadliest season on Mount Everest ever. Lots of people die. It's insane. It's a crazy story. I genuinely, I had to, after I finished it, I had to talk to people who had read it because I was like, that was wild. That was a wild ride. And that's kind of my favorite thing about nonfiction books is finishing them and being like, how is this real? How is this real? How did this happen? And sometimes it's crazy because real life is crazier than made up stories. And so that is what I've been really enjoying about nonfiction recently is kind of the craziness of real life. It kind of makes me feel better about what's happening right now in the world. But also on top of that, learning. I love to learn things. And so I've been really enjoying reading these nonfiction books. So if you need some nonfiction suggestions, these are the best of the best from what I have recently read. I have more though. If you guys are interested in some other nonfiction recs, let me know.